Here's a funny story, and unfortunately, no heat came out of it, but it was pretty awkward, very awkward. But so low key used to do this move where he would jump up on the second rope and do like a springboard and come back with a kick. And me and John Morrison, he of the many names, Johnny Mundo, Johnny, he, I was saying, hey, you know what would be a good move for you, man? Low key does this thing where he bounces off the second rope and does this jumping kick. Man, you could do that pretty well. So he adds that to his repertoire. He starts doing it. He starts doing it on TV. There's an unwritten rule in the world of professional wrestling. Whoever does it on TV first, that's their move. Now, low key has been doing this on TV all over the world, mind you, but not Fed TV, Well, low key finally gets into the Fed. And John Morrison had this awkward conversation talking to low key about, hey, would you mind not doing your move that I do now?
No.
No, it was all funny in the end. Like, there was no heat behind it. But things like that happen where guys will, I'm doing this move now. Wait, well, that's my move. Would you mind not doing it? There was if I don't have this wrong, Muhammad Hassan, who he used to come out with Davari when he was the Arab terrorist.
The character they had to take off of the...
Right, yeah. He had too much heat.
Yeah.
It was like then he had to go away heat.
Yeah.
Well, he was doing the camel clutch. But that move, actually, Eddie Guerrero used to do that move. And I think, I might get crucified here if I mess this up, but I think that was the Gory special. Or it was, I forgot, but Eddie Guerrero of the Guerreros used to do that move. So, of course, Eddie Guerrero would do that move. And Muhammad Hassan, who had massive locker room heat, nuclear locker room heat, he had the audacity to go and ask Eddie to stop doing his move, and everybody was like,
but he was brand new in the business too, right? Oh boy.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he had so much locker room heat that they were at the bar one night and business gets done at the bar. Again, the culture's changing, but through the years, hang out at the bar, the hotel bar, or whatever, start rubbing shoulders, you get to know people, have some drinks, socialize, and you get but discipline also gets done at the bar. A lot of the time, they'd get a guy down at the bar and start grilling him for what he did to get the locker room heat. And I forgot who all was involved, but they had Muhammad Hassan order shots for everybody. The bartender poured up like, I don't know, a couple dozen shots or whatever. Everybody raised up their glasses and poured them out.
Oh.
And then ordered a second round. So, yeah. I mean, the Miz got locker room heat because, and Mike's a great guy, but he just grew up in a bubble. So, like, socially, he didn't understand, like, stepping on somebody's shoe and some places could get you killed.
Yeah, it's a problem.
He'd step on your shoe and just not even say, oh, sorry, dude. You're like, no, my man, you stepped on my shoe, dude. That was not, sorry, like. So one day he would be oblivious. His self-awareness in certain situations, he just hadn't had enough life experience in those areas to know when he was stepping on toes figuratively. And I was there when it happened, when he famously got kicked out of the locker room, when Benoit kicked him out of the locker room because he was eating fried chicken and he was standing over Scott Armstrong's bag. And the Armstrongs are a respected name in wrestling. Bullet Bob Armstrong and all of his boys were, respected in the industry by everyone. And at this point, Scott Armstrong was a referee. One of my favorite referees, too. He was awesome because he'd be in the ring during your matches and he'd be, especially for the younger guys, he was like an extra coach. All right, calm down, relax, catch your breath. Here's a good time to breathe right now.
Okay.
All right, you guys. All right, here we're going in the finish. Get ready to get fired up, boys. Here we go. Like he was dope in that way. But so he was beloved by everybody. And Miz was eating fried chicken and all the crumbs were just dropping into Scott's bag. And Scott goes, "Hey, Miz, what the fuck, man?" And Miz, like, huh, what? All your crumbs are dropping in the bag, man. He goes, I'm sorry. And then Chris has got up and like, Miz, you're always fucking up some kind of way. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. And Miz, for a long time, wasn't allowed to dress in the dressing room with the boys.
It wasn't just that day.
No. He got kicked out. So he had to dress in mop closets, broom closets, the hallway, the bathroom, and the promenade with fans. He was not allowed in the locker room. He got kicked out of the locker room. It wasn't until after Benoit died that Miz went to Taker and asked for permission to come back in the locker room. So, and Miz, but here's the thing about it though, and this is what got Miz over in the long run. He didn't bitch, he didn't complain, he didn't cry. He took his lumps, he went, sat, he still worked his ass off every night, did everything he was supposed to do, and just, when the time came back around, he was allowed back in. But locker room heat just comes primarily from disrespect. If you disrespect the veterans, you do something disrespectful to the business, you're unprofessional in some sort of way, then people just won't like you. And, it's always better to have camaraderie and be in a situation where everybody feels good and is looking out for one another than to have we don't like that guy. And then, life gets real rough on the road, in lots of different ways.